Hello everyone, this is Brad1981. I'm going to be trying something a little different today. See my stomach in the video. So I'm going to do some maintenance, and I figured I'll try to record it. Do my best. This is going to be extremely rough, no editing. I'm going to be walking back and forth. It'll probably be a longer video, but what I'm also doing is I'm going to try to utilize my Sony full frame mirrorless camera for recording as well. So let me get that started. Like I said, I'm going to be going kind of back and forth, especially because this recorder, alright, it's recording. This recorder on my camera has a limited time to record video. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the workers inside this Tar Heel Ants Labyrinth Outworld. This is from my Pogo Miramax Barbados colony. I probably need to put another level of fluid one on here. This is probably worn quite a bit. Because not only am I doing this, but I'm also going to be doing some maintenance on my other colonies. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how the recording goes. God, really? I just have to show my stomach? God, so sorry everyone, but hey, you know, you're gonna get the real deal here. Grab our aspirator here. I don't think there's very many in here. I'm not interested in sucking up any dead material. Oh, that was a lot quicker than I thought. Okay. There's no more living ants in there. So now I'm going to put this lid back on here. This is going to have to be cleaned out completely. I'm going to vacuum it out. I'm going to use probably a mixture of hydrogen peroxide, maybe there's some cleaning solution. Nothing crazy, because obviously I want to use it again for other colonies. So I'm going to get up again. Like I said, I get up several times in this process. Should have made room on my shelf. And I'm going to move, if you can hear me, I'm going to put these workers in the world I have for them. Okay. There's not much reason to do much maintenance on my Pogo colony because Queen's been dead for a while. Just give them a regular lifestyle until they all die out. Bear with me here, I'm looking to see which one I want to do next. Let us do we'll just do my Pogo Miramax Regus's colony next. These guys are long due. Well, I wouldn't say long overdue, but they are due for a move. Yeah. So let's see what we got. Now what I want to do in here, now someone made a comment, look how dirty your outworld is. Well, you understand, some of these species are good climbers, and some of these species have nasty stings. They're, for lack of a better term, venomous. Or no, I don't know if it's venomous if they use stingers. I'm not sure, but Someone out to correct me on the language. God, did they make a mess inside their nest. I'm just gonna clean it off. Sorry, I should have been much better prepared for this. Make sure the recording is recording. Yep. Just going over my sink here and need a little water. After this, I want to do my Myrmecosis mimicus colony. Some water in here. Clean the top of their nest area. See, now this had a pretty good fluon barrier around the top, but they wore it out. Someone, please, if someone can tell me a product that really lasts a long time. I've heard a lot. I've heard mineral oil. I've heard a lot of different stuff. This has lasted me the longest. I've used the product by Formica. That product is great because it doesn't like cloud up any plastic or glass. The problem is that you have to do it just perfectly. It has to be super clean, and you have to only go over the plastic or glass that you want to put the barrier on once. If you do it more than once, it's too thick and it'll walk right over it. So this one I was using was just a typical fluon. In fact, you know what? Just for sake, I'm as you can tell, I'm very low on fluon. I was going to order some from MAC, but a little pricey. Not to say that MAC's price for fluon is unreasonable like that. Just for those of you watching my channel or keeping up to date, I've been unfortunately got laid off back in February, so still looking for work. Luckily, I've had savings and all that, so but. You know, I just got to be a little more frugal with my money than usual is all. I'm just going to put because like I said, there's probably already got a little bit of a barrier on here already. But let me tell you something. These girls are a lot like my Pogo Barbados. Watch when I open this. Let me get my. I'm going to do the first thing I do is I'm going to pull out everything, knock some of these workers down. These tools are great, but sometimes when you check and make sure you're in the chance. Come on, get off. Get off. The funny part is when they get excited, they climb. They're not good at climbing when they're kind of panicky. So see, this is the problem. And how am I supposed to? So the person that recommended to clean it, I would love to, but that's why I'm going to recommend for folks when you know. Not to say this is not a good size outworld. Many people use these Tar Heel ant products and they love them. I love them. I'm a Tar Heel ants fanboy basically, but what I recommend anyone is to really never go small or cheap for outworld. Get the biggest outworld you can get. It's going to make the most difference. Because right now they're swarming on the outside. So my options are this. I could use my aspirator and suck up the trash, which I would like to. But here's another thing about this colony. This colony I plan to move very soon. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I wanted to start get that other labyrinth ready for these guys or these ladies. So there's really no reason to go crazy on this. but I wanted to get all that out, getting some fresh water and all that. God, I'm ill prepared. I need to get, mainly what I want to do is put a little bit of a barrier. I don't know how well this is going to work with the ants like crawling up, but I'm going to try my best to put another level of barrier on this. Let's see. Like I said, the funny part is when they get excited, they tend to fall over even more. Let me know what you guys think of this type of video. It's going to be long. I think on my Sony camera, I think I can only do an hour at a time. We'll see how it goes. I have really no editing experience, but maybe I'll have my best friend who does a much more successful channel about import cars. He actually imports them from Japan and does work on them, sells them, and not so much to even flip them, just because that's what he's into. But I might have him help me. Let me get water, and I want to get some nectar. Sorry that you're not getting me on camera while I'm doing this over here. I'm just basically pouring some more distilled water in my cup here with my syringe. That comes with Tar Heel Ants formicarium to fill the nestmates and the water towers inside the nest. Let's see, I need both. Right now I have two different, well, they're not different, but I have two Biformica ant nectar. And you can tell, hope you can tell, there is a color difference between the two. This is fresh, this is old. So what I do is I keep the fresh for my honey pots or any ants that, like if I still had my Formica, I would give them that. With my carpenters, I give them this. This is good enough. It's such a mess. I'm not going to go crazy because they're just going to muck it up again. Like I said, this home's temporary anyway. Now these, let me tell you something. For the ones you put the nectar in, these are Biformica liquid feeding towers. Sometimes if I use one that's a little damp, it's easier. Sure. And if I can't get it open, what I'll do is I'll grab another one. I have a bunch of these, so I'll just grab another. Look at this. Look how much crap they put in there. It's really funny. Some of my ant colonies, they'll keep this area all nice. They'll keep it like pretty much pristine. And then I have like some like these ladies, they love to muck it up. They love it. What I'm really excited about in the near future, I would like to move my Pogomyrmex maricopa into that beautiful Tar Heel Ants mini hearth that I have. I don't know if they're quite ready yet, but they're close. I'll tell you what, the workers are much more active. In other words, they're coming out more often, which means the nest is getting, more and more populated, crowded, so to say. Alright. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get it very well with that cotton swab, so, but it is a little better. Now, typically, this is when I'm doing like regular maintenance, like just giving them water or throwing in some fresh seeds or something like that. They're typically not swarming like this. This is because I've lifted this up several times, and they're all excited and agitated, or whatever you want to call it. What I'm doing now is I'm grabbing another one of my micro. Where do I have them? Where is it? A whole bunch of them. Where are they? Yeah, there they are. A lot of times when you buy Formica products, if you buy them in like bundles, they're cheaper. So you got a bunch of these mini feeding towers here, liquid feeding towers. And I'll put this over here, clean that later. Now what I do with this, until we do this, because let me tell you something, this stuff is sticky. Obviously, it's sugar stuff, so I don't want to get it on my hand. Not that it's harmful or anything, but what I'll do at the very end is I'll clean the tips of these. That way there's no residue on the top to make these stick. Alright, so now I am going to attempt to place the water in that corner that was earlier in here, and this one, or maybe I'll do opposite. Maybe I'll do that there and the water there. Yeesh. God, it's such a mess. It's gross. Alright, let me turn it this way. Usually these are all standard. Now what I'll do is, I don't like to do it, but it's really not going to hurt them, because I'll place that liquid feeding tower, and I'll place it on top of some of them. But for this particular species, these suckers are hard. Their exoskeleton compared to, like, let's say my honey pots, they're very hard. So what I'll notice is they'll eventually crawl out. And if not, frankly, I don't like killing them. Like, obviously I don't want to do it on purpose in it, but if one gets trapped underneath there, and I mean, look at them. I lose one worker, it's not the end of the world. You gotta do what you gotta do. This one, I might just put up top there. Just such an easy spot to do it. I was putting the food up there, but I mean, look at this. This is kind of a mess already, and I kind of like the fact how this is lower than the taller, the other one, so I can get to it easier. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna brush off. Sorry, ladies. I'm gonna brush off the seeds. Probably should have done this by hand. There's no reason to do it by. Okay. Now what I had in here was just a nestmate that I threw in here because that fell, or it was empty, but the barrier wasn't really working. And what I did is, what you're not going to know on camera is I have my AC turned up quite a bit, so that may be helping them with how quick they are, but anyway, that's what I was doing with this. So I was paranoid when I do this, that I got ants crawling on me. Now, what I would like to do is I'd like to take that nestmate out. But here's the problem. That's the Queen's favorite chamber. You probably can't see this very well in the camera, but for this camera, this particular chamber where the nestmate goes into is actually where the Queen likes to hang out. And I just don't like the idea of risking the Queen going all, leaving the nest. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be catastrophic, but why risk it? But man, it bugs me. I hate having nestmates that are not being used. You know what? I'm going to leave it, because I said the Queen's in there, and they're going to be moved soon. And I'm going to try to do a video of them moving into the Tar Heel Ants, what do I have for them? I have a labyrinth for them. Not a mini labyrinth, a full-size labyrinth, where my Pulgrimurus Barbados is in last. So, alright, now I'm going to take this colony, because they're pretty much done. What I'll do, I don't have any seeds on my little crappy setup here, but you probably can't see they have 2 chambers that are full of seeds. And I can already tell on the outside that some of the seeds I've given them lately, they just piled on the outside. So that's why I know that they're due for a move. The chambers are all used. The outworld is used. I mean, just look at them. I haven't had this colony very long. I love this species. I think they're a lot of fun. Let me do this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna fill the water towers that are inside the nest after I do the maintenance, because as I pick them up, moving around, I don't want them sloshing and getting unnecessary areas of the nest damp. So let me do it. I don't know if that's working or not. Unfortunately, that camera doesn't have a flip screen, so I can't tell what's being recorded. Because that camera was top of the line a couple years ago. Still being sold. I bought that brand new, but I did it for more photography, not videography. I think that was a mistake. I should have got one that was better for videography, but I really love the idea of having a full framed, which that Sony camera is. Alright, now here's my closest mimicus. Now these girls want to be gentle with. They're doing really well. They were doing better. The reason why I say is because, unfortunately, I don't know why, but my flightless fruit fly culture took forever to get a decent amount built up where I can actually pull some of the darn flies from it so I can feed these girls. So, well, these girls don't sting or anything, so there's not much in the outworld. They're all empty, as you can tell. This is did the nest make for temporary. Let me close that. Where is my... Oh, I keep dropping them? Oh, there it is. Use the same cotton ball. This needs a barrier update. Now these girls, I don't think they're necessarily due for a move. I mean, they could maybe be due for a move. Now, because they're not going too crazy at the moment. Now, so here's some of the drawback. Oh, now I see they're flooding now. I don't know. I wanted to vacuum this out. There's a pile of dead debris. And I know people have seen it and don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing it either. But but I don't want to suck up any of the ants. Let me turn it this way so I get a better look. There's also another negative. When they have a neat little pile like that, and I know people are going to be tempted to clean it right away, I'm no expert, but my recommendation is don't. Let them pile it up a little bit, like, you know, because what happens is you clean that pile, they're going to pick another, they could potentially pick another spot to put their trash. It's happened to some of my other colonies. And it was frustrating. It's like, no, where you were putting it was better before. And where they have it now is perfect because it's by this rubber stop. So what I can do is open up this rubber stop and suck out what I want. I'm not being too active right now. It's fine. All right, let's get them some stuff. Some stuff. Okay. This one's for the nectar. I've done it. Yeah. See, look, the one that I put the nectar in, spotless. Look, the one that's got the water, filthy. There's another problem. Same situation with this nest. The queen loves hanging out right there where the nest mate is. Yeah, darn it. Okay. I need to grab another, I have another tower, but really don't want to. God. So what I normally do when I'm doing maintenance, if it wasn't recording, I would pick this up, go to my sink, wash it, you know, rinse on the outside, dry it off thoroughly to get all the crappy water. Even though I have a filter on my sink, it doesn't matter. I still dry it completely and make sure that really only distilled water is getting in. Okay. That just came right off. I'm actually surprised they're not actually going crazy right now. They'll go crazy later. God, you know what? Now that I think about it, this was so ill planned. I mean, I'm going to feed them tonight some freshly killed fruit flies. And let me tell you something. When I put those in the air, yeah, they'll be coming out. Watch out, sweetie. Oh, trampling is. There we go. Right, bear with me here. I gotta go to the sink and get this open. I don't want to use any of the other stuff I have. Sometimes by just putting some warm water on the bottom plastic part, kind of running it over, is enough to jar these loose. Here we go. Let me put, oh, I gotta put the mess. All my paper towels are, this is so ill planned. After what, 30 minutes? Sweet. This is so ill planned. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know how this is gonna, you know, keep having to fix my shirt on. But I don't know how this is gonna come out, folks. But I don't even know if my camera over there is gonna warn me when it gets to the mark where it's gonna stop recording. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why some digital SLRs or mirrorless cameras, the reason why they have limits on the amount of time they can record video is if they can record video for over an hour, they are considered camcorders and not like cameras. and there's like an importation or some extra tax. So that's why they do it. That's literally why. So sometimes you'll find like, especially a mirrorless camera, it'll look identical to another mirrorless camera. But you're like, well, why is it like $50 more? So if you look at it, it doesn't have the software doesn't have a limitation for how long it can record video. Supposedly there's ways of fixing that, but I don't know. You might be able to crack the software or something. I really don't know. I think I looked it up once and obviously never bothered. Alright, so these ladies are going to get the newer. Because this Biformica stuff they do say that it does, once you open it, or get to, certain elements or certain temperature, this stuff is not good forever. I mean, maybe I think it'll have its use. I'm never going to throw any of it out. Like I said, I'll just use it for species ants that really don't really get their carbohydrates this way. I know several people that don't keep any type of sugar sources for their carpenter ants. I give them the option. I think a lot of times when they drink from this though, they're just thirsty and it's just convenient. Let's see, is that barrier working better? There you go. Okay. Well, happy about that. I'm just debating whether I want to replace that decimal. You know what? I don't see why not. Queen's there, but pretty confident in my skills to plug this up quick enough. Let's do it. Get back in. Get back in, Tweety. Okay. Not that I really need this, because these are not. Hello there, bear. Oh, they can climb. They can climb. No. I've had one of these girls climb on me, and it took forever to get her back in the nest, in the formicarium. There we go. I don't know. My honey pots I like because I swear the pogos, maybe because they have the venom, the stingers. Sometimes I feel like they want to attack me. Like get you. Like they're actually a threat. But obviously these they're not going to do it. I mean, I don't even think these spray. What was it? Biformic acid, like my Formica species that I had that does. I don't know if I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments. If Mac figures out a way to make putting the nest mates in with better ease. Another loose one. Finish reading. Where are you at? Looking at this one. Oh! Shit. I mean, shoot. No, I'll say shit. Hold on. I don't allow pesticides in my home, but let's give it a wipe down just in case. You never know what you track on the outside. So I do take some precautions. I know it's super exciting stuff. Oh, Brad and Miss Antimo, I'm so glad you did this. It's so exciting. You're so awesome. I'm sure people can leave comments. Oh, you could have done it this way, that way. Hey, I admit it, this is poorly planned. This chicken. Actually, let me use, I want to make sure that nothing got caught up in that nest. So let's see here. Oh, hold on, let's do this. Queen's in that junior anyway. We're good. Just making sure. Alright. So, what could I have done maintenance-wise on her? There are ways to clean out the nest. There are. If I had another plate exactly like this one, which actually I do, so I could hypothetically slide this off or take another glass plate. These are not glued on purpose on these vertical, right? No, it's a horizontal nests, because you just slide and the magnets will kind of flip around. You can see other videos that people do it. Could do maintenance on that. I could clean up the junk pile, but I really like how they put in the junk pile. Now, I want you to know something. Let me stick my head down here. Maybe I won't. For those of you watching, I look for mold, fungus, or especially in my carpenter, my harvester ants, I check to make sure the seeds are not, when popping, or whatever it's called when the plant actually comes out, I'm checking for fungus. I am checking for things, even though I allow some of this trash to be out here. So I'm not being completely negligent. Again, I'm not going to fill because there's 2 water towers inside this lair, Tar Heel ants nest, but I'm going to wait until I set them down and I'll fill them up later. Now, when you're doing the honey pots, you got to be very careful, especially if you have a vertical nest, because as you're shaking, you really don't want to lose any of your repletes. Now, this colony with their repletes, they've done very well. They've done many of them, but they tend to lose them pretty quickly. They fall. But I'll tell you what, the colony, bear with me here, please. My other Mimicus colony, I'm not going to do that. Keep that for next day. Clean that up. Sorry, I'm just kind of putting my thoughts through what I want to do. Sorry, I'm off camera. Maricopa. Maricopa really can't climb. Alright folks, actually what I was going to do was I was going to do some maintenance over here in my little barrier tray with my other honey pots, but their repletes, the way where they're at, I really don't want to disturb them, because the only thing they need is I just need to give them a fresh nectar, fresh water. Well, they have fresh water, but I'll give them I'll replace it using fresher water. And yeah, and feed them once I got some freshly killed feathers fruit flies. So now what I will do, hopefully in the future with this camera and the way I'm doing it now, is when I move some of my species over, I may film like this. Let me know what you all think. Do you like this, other than seeing my belly? Obviously, I will try to do better planning for this, better angle with the cameras, so my stomach is not so prominent. But also just, better situated. Unfortunately, for those that you've seen my videos, I'm very limited in space. In fact, I had to turn down, well, I didn't actually have an offer, but I was quite far through for this one job I was applying for, but it was a remote job. I was really hoping I could work in the office because I just don't have the space. Unless they allow me to use my own computer or something like that. And also, I hate working from home. One of the few people I hate. I want to go out and I want to be around the workforce. It's just the way I am. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but because I'm so limited in space. And one of my friends will, why don't you just move to a bigger apartment? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm unemployed. Granted, I have savings and all that, and I'm getting unemployment, but I mean, it's not cheap to move. And I just renewed this lease. My rent, because I live in Phoenix, Arizona, for those who don't know, my rent went up 30%, and it's crazy everywhere. But Phoenix is, if you look it up, we're one of the cities that got really hit hard with housing, because so many people are moving from Washington, California, mainly, and a few other states. And anyway, the housing is just crazy. So I'm stuck in, and other than the lack of space, I like my studio. It works. And when I had a job, I like saving money. I actually like putting money away. I enjoy ants. I enjoy, believe me, if I could afford it, I'd love. There's a few firearms I'd like to get. There's a few knives I want to get. There's some ant species I was looking at. There's some anime figures I was looking at, but that's life, right? So, anywho, let me stop the recording on this camera. Oh, and look, did this stop on its own? Uh-oh. Yeah, so I meant to look it up. Maybe it was 30 minutes and not an hour. In fact, I think it was I think it's like 29 minutes and 59 seconds for recording time. Really, for someone that doesn't really want to edit their videos at this point, that's frustrating. So, alright, let me turn it off. I'll upload the video. I'll mainly just get you everyone's opinion, but webcam here. Yeah, I don't look so good. Stuck in this apartment too long. Anyway, Bradman 1981. Let me know what you think of the video, my rambling and everything. And really, you can feel free to leave comments like constructive criticism, like the one gentleman said to me, "Oh, you leave your outworlds too messy." Now, I kind of responded like, "Oh, thank you for the information," kind of like a smart aleck. That's because a better way of saying it is like, "Hey, is there a reason why your outworlds are so dirty?" Like ask questions before you just you're doing it wrong. It's like, because you don't know what my frame of thought is. You don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, just like I said, be respectful and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, and take care, everyone.